So, very good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is fine and very excited after the completion of half yearly exam to join the Zoom class again. Now, as this is the first class after half yearly, we will just recall lesson number 3, poverty as a challenge, where we had a last done poverty as a challenge. We have completed the reading and explanation before the half yearly only. So today we will just recall the lesson so that question answers can be done in the coming classes. Clear? And you are aware what you have read in this lesson. So in this lesson we have read that poverty, which first of all, everybody is having the book, economics book. Please open your economics book of poverty as a challenge, lesson number 3. Share screen. Yes, here. Okay, now is my screen visible? Okay, fine. Then poverty is a challenge. In this, we have read that poverty is a situation. What is poverty? Poverty is a situation where person fails to attain the minimum basic needs, and those minimum basic needs are what? They are food, clothing, housing, health, education, etc. So that is called the situation in which it is termed as poverty. Next, we have seen that we see poverty all around us. Now, this type of situation we see all around us. In fact, every fourth person in India is poor. That means that roughly 270 million or 27 crore people in India live in poverty. That is in 2011-12. So this is the situation where the minimum basic needs are not available to the people. Next, we have seen about the two stories, the situation of the two families. One is living in the urban area, that is in the city life, and the other case study we have seen about the rural case, the family of Lakha Singh. Both the cases we have seen how they are able to meet their daily requirements and what is the situation in which they are living. Then we have seen that according to these two situations, we have seen that issues related to poverty. Now, which are the issues related to poverty? They are landlessness, when the people are without their land. Then unemployment, when people are without the jobs. Size of the family also matters. When the size of the family is big and the earning members are less, then that means it will be under the poverty line. Then illiteracy is there. If size of the family is big, unemployment condition is there, then surely it will be the situation where illiteracy will prevail. Then we have seen poor health condition and malnutrition problem arises also due to this poverty, because the family members are not able to meet the daily balanced diet, that is the daily nutrition level in their food. Then we have also seen that when children in these poverty situation, where the people are living in this type of poverty situation, the children are not going to school, they are illiterate, parents are also illiterate. There the child labor also exists. That means the small children, they go for the to earn the money. Then helplessness also is seen in this poverty situation, where the parents are helpless. They can't afford to send their children to school, good school, to give them good education. Even they can't provide good health facilities to their children. Then we have seen that poverty means hunger and lack of shelter. That is, it is also a situation in which parents are not able to send their children to school, and it is a situation where sick people cannot afford treatment. When poverty is there, poor people, they cannot afford the high class treatment or good treatment to their family members. So poverty also means lack of clean water, sanitation facilities. These are the basic amenities which every person should have. But due to poverty, there is no access to these basic needs, basic facilities. It also means that lack of regular jobs also is there, and minimum decent level. Above all, it means that living with a sense of helplessness. So these are all we just now had seen, the issues related to poverty. Then we have seen the quotation of Mahatma Gandhi, where Mahatma Gandhi always insisted that India would be truly independent only when the poorest of its people become free of human suffering. Then, according to Mahatma Gandhi, that if the poor people are free from any type of human suffering, then it can be called as that India had been a truly independent country. Now, poverty is seen to be a social by the social scientists. Now, by social scientists, what is the uh, criteria about private poverty of the social scientists? Now, the indicators used relate to levels of income and consumption. Now, according to social scientists, how much the income in that particular uh, family is there, and what how much consumption is there. That means what all they are earning, the family members, how many earning members are there, and how much consumption, the utilization of that money is there. That is all as seen as a poverty, as a indicator that can show that the particular family is really considered to be under the poverty line or not. Then, what is social exclusion? Next, we have seen about the social exclusion. Now, what is social exclusion? Social exclusion is the poor having to be live only in the poor surroundings. It is the state when poor people are living only in the surroundings, only in the condition where uh, according to them, they are being excluded from enjoying social equality of better of people in better surroundings. That means they are kept aloof from the rest of the members of the society. They are considered as poor. That is called as social exclusion. That means they are excluded, they are kept aloof, they are not uh, considered, or they are not joined in with the other family and other society members of the society. So that is called as social exclusion, and this condition arises when the concept of poverty is there. Next, we have also seen about vulnerability. Now, what is vulnerability? Vulnerability to the poverty is a measure which describes the greater probability of certain communities. That means we say that members of the backward class or individuals, like which individuals? The widow, especially, or physically handicapped people, of becoming or remaining poor in coming years. That means the people who are more prone towards the condition of poverty, means in near future they can come in the poverty line. So that is called vulnerability, the people who are more prone. That is, vulnerability describes the greater probability of being more adversely affected. Means in the coming years, they can be affected more due to the poverty. Now, next we have seen what is a poverty line. A common method, a poverty line is a common method used to measure poverty, and it is based on the income and consumption level. So, this poverty line is the method used to measure the poverty, how much poor the particular uh, person is or the particular family is, and it is based on the income and consumption level. How many members, earning members are there, and how much consumption of that money which is earned, how much consumption of that money is there. So a person is considered poor if his or her income or consumption level falls below a given minimum level. That means if the consumption level is more than the income, that means that family or that individual will certainly fall under the category of poverty. Now, each country uses an imaginary line that is considered appropriate for its existing level of development and is accepted minimum social norms. That means the poverty line in India, the minimum level of food requirement. Now, according to poverty line in India, the minimum level of food requirement should be there. Clothing, footwear, fuel, light, educational, and medical requirements, they are to be there. Means at least minimum subsistence level should be there to each and every individual for these requirements of clothing, fuel, and all. Then they will not be coming under the poverty, they will not be considered as poor. If these requirements are not there fulfilled in for the particular individual, that means it is the state of poor condition. Then the calorie also needs vary depending on, now depending on the age, sex, and the type of work that the person does. Now the calorie requirements is also very important. That means uh, the food requirement for of a person is based on the desired calorie requirement. Now calorie needs vary, means it differences depending upon age, sex, and type of work that a person does. Now the person working in the fields and all will need more calorie. Now here we have seen the example of rural areas. They are engaged, the people are engaged themselves in the more physical work, so the calorie requirement in the rural area will be more than in the urban areas. So this is the way the calorie requirements also vary, or it the differences are there between the calorie requirements of the urban people and the rural people, because the people who are indulged more in the physical activities, they will require the calories more than the uh, people who are indulged in other activities. Next, we have seen that poverty estimates. Now, it is clear, now the tables are given in which the poverty estimation is given at the different level in different years. So, after this, vulnerable groups, we have studied about vulnerable groups. Who all are the vulnerable groups? Who are considered as vulnerable groups? The social groups which are most vulnerable to poverty are scheduled caste and scheduled tribes household. That means the people most vulnerable to poverty, most affected by the poverty, are scheduled caste and scheduled tribe people. And that is why the economic groups also, the most vulnerable group are rural agricultural labor household. Now here social groups are scheduled caste and scheduled tribes household, and in economic groups the agricultural labor households and the urban casual labor households can be considered as the most vulnerable group to poverty. Then another group of people, that is women, elderly people, and female infants are systematically denied equal access to resources available to the family. Now this is the distinction made. When the poverty is there in the family, then what will happen? The women, even the elderly people, the aged people, the females, and the very small infant children are denied to equal access to the resources available to the family. Whatever things are available in the family, whatever basic amenities, basic facilities, basic needs are available for the family members, they will be uh, means these women, elderly people, they will be denied to that particular necessities or facilities. And uh, the other people who are working, who are doing the physical work, who are the earning members, they will be given access to those facilities only. And thus women, children, especially the girl child we can talk about, and the old people are considered as the poorest of the poor. So who all are considered as the poorest of the poor? The women and old children. Next we have seen that the global poverty scenario. The poverty declined substantially in China and Southeast Asian countries as a result of rapid economic growth and massive investment in human resource development. Now, this poverty can be declined. Why? Now, this is the case we are seeing in China and Southeast Asian countries where poverty declined. And what was the main reason of the decline of poverty in these countries? Because there was rapid economic growth. As there was economic growth and investment in human resources development was there. Human resource development means more importance was given in the development of literacy, means education, and health of the human beings. And that is why this poverty declined in China and Southeast Asia. Then we come across this causes of poverty. Now many causes of poverty we have seen. Now in power causes of poverty, we have seen that historical reason was there, the policies of colonial government which ruined the traditional handicrafts and discouraged the development of industries. That was, that was the historical reason. Then huge inequalities was also there. Then high growth rate of population also was the reason, main cause for the poverty. Then one of the major reason of was the unequal distribution of land and other resources. These all were the causes of poverty. Then many socio cultural and economic factors were also responsible for this. That because many religious ceremonies are taking place in day to day society by the family members. So this can be also considered as the cause of poverty, because lot of money is spent on these religious ceremonies and activities. Then we have seen about anti poverty measures. Anti poverty measures also, and under targeted anti-poverty programs, the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, that is NREGA, the National Food for Work Program, that is NFWP, Rural Employment Generation Program, that is REGP, etc., have been launched. So many programs have been launched, and the current anti-program strategy was to promote the economic growth. And that is why these programs, anti-targeted programs, were there launched. So many anti-targeted programs were there. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, that means, and Prime Minister Rojgar Yojana was also there. And in the last we have seen Antodaya Ann Yojana was also there. That means they were the anti-poverty programs too, and the poverty. Then we have seen that poverty has certainly declined in India, but despite the progress, poverty reduction remains India's most compelling challenges till now. So this was about the lesson we have done before half yearly. Now just go through the lesson once again. In our next class, we are going to discuss about the question answers of this lesson. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Then I will end the class here only today. Please, before leaving the class, type once again present in the chat box so that it will be considered as an attendance. Once again, before leaving the class, type present once again in the chat box. Yes, Goranshi.